which can return very high rental return. And I think I'm going to come to this slide later, if you can go to the next one. So here's my own, Melissa is my business partner, and she's also a real estate agent in the state of New York. Currently, our portfolio value is $10.2 million. This is our own portfolio. So that consists of 48 properties comprising 152 units. And, so we actually target pretty much not A, B, and C class neighborhood. We try to go a little bit towards the D, E, and neighborhood, not like F neighborhood, but where it is, we feel comfortable that we won't go to like Baltimore and St. Louis, but we try to target to the areas because, as you know, like the cap rate in most of these good areas are not more than 3 to 4%. That's how the New Jersey average cap rate is 4%. So we have portfolios in all these cities, and average, I would say, the $70,000 property gives a $1,200 for rental income. So that. So no, we buy the property. We own it, and we rent it. Yeah. So you become the proud landlord of these properties. And if you could go to the next slide, please. So this is the property I bought, 1.4 million, 28 units. Average rent, it gives $950 per unit. It is 406, you can Google it, 406 Lake Avenue, Rochester, New York. The cash on cash return is 13.7%. That actually means that if you put, I'm giving a rough estimate, like you give me $1 million, I'll take $1 million, I go to the bank, I take 75% LTR, and I'm gonna get $3 million loan for you, and I'm gonna buy a $4 million property. And expectation for these, because we do a lot of due diligence before we hit a city. I have tons of demographic studies, tons of the city county plans, understanding neighborhoods, and understanding, is it inflation driven or is it something is going to be more persistent growth. So we do tons of business analytics before we actually buy property in certain areas. So as I said, like $1 million you give today, $3 million loan, I'm gonna buy $4 million property for you today. And 15 years down the line, I have expectation these $4 million will become. So you have a 700% of increment. And you take a loan of 15 years loan from the bank. 15 years later, the bank is gone. Your $1 million will become $8 million. That is a 700% of jump in your value. Along with that, when I say that 13.7% of cash on cash means your $1 million, you become the proud owner of $4 million property, which keeps on growing. Along with that, you get $137,000 of cash on cash, which is the net cash flow in your pocket. So this is a 13% you get in your pocket, and you become the proud owner. So this is very different than REIT, where they just give you a coupon every year, where they own the business. Here, you own the business, and I'm going to talk about what do I need to do that work for you, because I have established, so if you can keep going, I'm going to just give you a little bit of slideshow. This is pretty close, if you ever get a chance, Hartford, Connecticut, 1965 Park Street, I bought it for $850,000. And there are I do like pretty due diligence. Melissa has shown me like more than 700 houses. And we have bought, very handful of them. Very exhausting. We drive pretty much 1,400 miles every week to find out properties and figure out what numbers work for us. So this gives pretty much a single family house, Springfield, Illinois, and 28290 Sangamon. That is a $100,000 house, which is a little, This is a $1,200, but based on the lower city and county and because of the Republican state, it has got a lot of discounts. So we get, if you go to the next slide, please. This is 115 Kirk Avenue. It's amazing if you look at the number, 2 tenants, $1,500 and $1,250 they pay for a $115,000 house. So if you are in, anyone has, I live in Short Hills, I live in, my wife tells me that I have $10.2 million house, but I don't own a house so far. So we live on rent in Short Hills. And the house that I live, I pay $3,300 rent. That is worth of $1.2 million. I would look for, if I buy a house for $1.2 million, I would look for $25,000 rent. Otherwise, I'll not buy it. So that is the number I look for. So this is the number it proves. This is again a multifamily house. It's a 3 units. It is a 17% cash on cash. It gives you almost $4,000 rent. 3 units, 3 separate tenants. The next slide, please. That's your house. You sold it to me. This is a $59,000, just above that. This is a $59,000 house. I think I've written like it is $57,000. At $2,000 we got discount on this, right? And this gives a $1,300 rent. It's a single family house. You don't have to go anything more than water. Water bills, I know, like pretty much comes $300 every quarter. Good thing with the single family house is like you don't have to take care of anything. It depends on state to state. Like if I have a property in Illinois and Florida, I just need to take care of, I don't need to even have to give water. But if I take in Connecticut, in New York, I have not done business in New Jersey because New Jersey is just not a rising state to do business, real estate business. So this gives like a 20% cash on cash. So my mortgage, if you buy this property, like let's say I'm putting $60,000, if you put $15,000 your down payment and you take $45,000 loan, you're gonna pay probably $45,000, and I'm just telling 8% of interest rate at this time. You're gonna pay probably $430 of mortgage on this, and you get a $1,300 rent. So this is the kind of things we target. And yeah, if you please to the next slide. So this is what I was talking about. What you have done is you have taken like 2024. If you take like a $1 million from your pocket, it is going to be so 1 million is going to be 8 million, and then on the top the gray is your cash on cash return every year. So not that your property only grow. It is, in fact, I have seen people not just make various hedge funds like BlackRock, Bridgewater corporations. They are selling tons of business in New York City because they are unable to sustain at this high inflation to pay 8%. And I'm actually going and buying property at this time because I can beat inflation. With these points, if 20% of the tenants don't pay, they're still it works fine. If there's a 5% eviction, it still works fine. Because I always go for that kind of analytics that, if you're a credit card company, I always think of like 2% of people are never going to pay. So we keep all those things, but this is the kind of return is there in the real estate. And the next slide, please. Market research. What I'm looking for is, I do all these things for you, and I'm looking for 10% of partnership. So I'm not looking to create a REIT and just give you 10%. Rather, I give you 90%, I'm taking 10%. So what it means is, if you give me $1 million, I'm going to buy $4 million properties to you. You're going to be proud owner of that. The tenants are going to salute you there. That landlord has come. So my thing is, I identify city states. I identify the rental market, neighborhoods, travel and validate the information. And we do all the things. There are tons of things which comes in. I think every one of you may be owning one or two properties, and you know what are the struggle comes in. We look for commercial real estate brokers. We find out credit unions, community banks, which can the bargain the rates with them. We also acquired the certificate of occupancy, the rental registries, which is required for many of the cities. Most of the cities actually in New York to have the rental before you rent it out. Screening tenants is one of the most, I think, intelligent job, I would say, struggling and intelligent job I have done. I would say that so far out of 152 units, there's only one unit has gone in eviction in Hartford. I couldn't deal, I had to throw that. So that's the only one had to go. As I said, we're gonna do all the work for you, finding out handyman licensed, lawsuits and eviction. So there's a one part is the 10% is a partnership in the company, and if you like, you own the property, you do the property management from someone else. It's your choice. But if you come to me that, hey, I want you to manage my property, go and collect rent, I'm gonna take 15% is going to be my cut on that. Normal property managers you can find for 10% in market, but then they're gonna take 50% of your rent, telling that they have this cost, that cost, everyday painting, everyday the pest control, and everyday the toilet cleaning and clogging issues. So, I have a very significant, as I said, being an IT engineer, we do No, it's not repair. 15% is the management fee. Yeah, any that will go to pass to the landlord. But here I'll be pretty much transparent to you to give all the tenants' phone number, all the leases to you, pass to you. I'm not going to hold lease. I'm not going to hold who pays what. You should be, and if you need to call and validate that if the certain issue has been done, or if you want to even take care of that part, you're feel free to take that. So I want to have a complete transparency. You are not dealing with a person here who doesn't get a job for 10 years and they become a real estate agent. So,
have anybody sued you so far?
Sorry?
Any injuries or something like that happened?
So this is where we're going to talk. So I have occupied this property under 17 different LLCs. So the moment the property value got close to 800, 900,000, I put in an LLC and divided. And then I take an umbrella insurance on top of that. So if you take, you're going to pay for that. Depends on how much you want to take it. So the umbrella insurance will protect you from the lawsuit. Again, since I've divided it, if one tenant, files a lawsuit, they can at most take that company down. They cannot take another company down, and they cannot chase my personal asset. So that's why how I divided boundaries these LLCs. Next slide. So I was trying to tell you here a little bit of why did I pick up my Syracuse, Rochester, in some of the areas. And some of the games only last for 10 years, 15 years. I lived in Tampa. The people started migrating, tons of in the sea belt, in the sun belt, and you see the rates are almost saturated there. The people will start again migrating to a different place, and we need to find out based on the predictive and calculative analysis that what would be the next Tampa. The Syracuse about is there is a $110 billion of Micron facility. Not sure if many of you know. Yes. They're going to build. It is a huge, and this is the point that if you walk there, you can still find a house pretty cheap, which people are still not there, but if you will be the early bird if you enter now in certain areas. Same with the Hartford. So I'm just going to, if you go to the next slide, please. Sorry, I'm just going to be there. The previous one, please. So just last year, about year to year is 37.3% of growth. So I have put close to $2.5 million in Syracuse. I already have 37.3% of growth from last year. that means I'm actually have all this property free of cost because I only put 25% down payment and my overall property is appreciated 37.3%. So I'm actually just in 1 year is a house money that I'm running that entire the portfolio that you saw. This is still it's pretty early, but if you look at the chart, it goes up and down. There's nothing much of the things, but 110 billion will double the population of Syracuse in 10 years, 15 years. And we are,
125.
you wanna,
It'll be a population increase of 125,000.
so the current population is 125,000. And she's telling that she lives actually in Liverpool, which is 10 miles north of Syracuse. And it looks like we will see the double the population there. And the fact is that the 4% population in and out can change the dynamics of the real estate. If the 4% people leave the city, you're not going to sell a house even like 20% down of the current existing price. And if the 4% actually people move in, how many people they, so in the normal is at one point of time, only 0.9% of the houses is on sale in market. So if 4% of people are sitting to buy your house, you're gonna have 4 bids, 5 bids actually, 4.5 bids. That's the number it works. Next please. This is some of the things that, just from the last year, this is my purchase date. There's a pretty good increment of price that I have got. So my 850 is close to, I can probably sell it with a little bit of things on that. I can sell it for $1.2 million, right? And I occupied it actually on 17th of August last year, which is not even like 6 months now. Yes?
In the first slide you were saying Jacksonville also #1.
Jacksonville,
Are
Florida.
you referring that also in?
No, I haven't taken many of the examples, but if you want, we can go over every details we have. Yeah, sorry. Okay. The next. So the last, I take care of 120 children. Of mostly some of them are orphans back in India. I'm actually originated from Patna, Bihar. But this place is in Kalahandi. Kalahandi is one of the poorest districts in India, and it's in Odisha. It comes between Odisha, Andhra, and MP border. That's where it is. So I try to go visit India 3 times a year. I take care of the food, education, and nutrition of close to 130 children. I run 4 free schools. I close to donate $40,000 to $50,000 every year for this cause. Thank you. You want to add it?
No, you covered everything pretty well.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? Okay, yeah, I just made this slide like in 2 days. So we'll provide it here.
So pretty much you're offering services. You're
Yes.
offering services.
Yes.
You're not seeking any money.
No. Yes. I mean, this is what it is like. So far, I have grown my own portfolio, and it's like a live example what I can do for you. So it's not about I am asking you and taking your money and setting an example. It is something which is there, and all the properties I have occupied, I can pretty much give. I am ready to share, the deed and closing statement. You probably go and figure out. I think you can pretty much find if you go to Zillow, you can find what price I bought and what is the price now. So it will be no matter.
You mentioned example of how you transform that. Is that something there is implication that accepting you as a client for somebody there is specific amount?
No, but I think we probably will not take. I honestly haven't thought about it. This is my first presentation, and I'm pretty unprepared for a lot of things. But I'm more prepared when in terms of the actual action. because we are on road. She's my business partner. We drive pretty much like, as I said, 1,400 miles every week, in just to make sure that we are physically present and inspect every aspect of what we do.
So far you have done all this portfolio. and
Yes. Yes.
onboarding new clients.
Yes. Yes.